If you had told me that we would still be in business a year after not serving a single person inside, I would have told you you were absolutely crazy.
And that was Annette and Nicole from Throwback Brewery on this week's episode of Brew Roots.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Brew Roots, where we tell the stories behind your favorite beer. This is Sound Guy Ryan, and joining me as always is Erica and Matt.
Salute!
Hola!
Hi.
You ever notice how
Ryan.
amazing Ryan is at the intros?
Yeah, Ryan, you could
He
have
just
done
nails it
any
every time.
version of hello, and you did hi.
Yeah, because that's the one I know.
You could have done ni hao.
Didn't know that.
Chinese for hello.
I can't think of that quick. I'm just sorry. I'm a poor old fish boy.
You know what? That's fine.
But he's a cute, poor old fish boy.
You are cute, Ryan.
Oh, thanks.
Well, yeah, like Ryan said, welcome.
Welcome. Yeah, here we are.
We have an awesome episode for you this week, and
Yeah,
I'm
we do.
so excited because I hold this place near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, you rant and rave about it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I am excited in a couple weeks because we are all going to rent a
I am
fire
so
pit there.
excited to rent a fire pit. That's like the coolest thing. You get like unlimited marshmallows, I think, for s'mores.
We think.
Pretty sure. We gotta double check.
Yep.
But then you just get to hang out at a fire pit at a freaking brewery.
and get beer brought to
Yes.
you, which is really cool.
Yes. I'm pumped anyways. I'm excited.
I'm really excited because there's a lot of cool things happening right now. More people are getting vaccinated. More breweries are opening up to the
Yeah.
public. Restrictions are getting eased back a little bit.
Yep.
Still got to wear your mask, I'm sure.
Yeah, still be safe. This doesn't mean, run around all crazy and spread the virus again.
Yeah, I'm not sure, if this is true to breweries, but I know restaurants, they can be at 100% capacity as long as the tables are still 6 feet apart.
Right. So
Right.
it's not really 100%, but it just means you can fit more people in.
That's
for sure.
right.
Yeah.
But if we have some new listeners this week, welcome. I know that we had a ton of people tune into our Thursday evening live stream with our good friends Penny
It was
Pinchers.
so much fun.
And
yes. Thanks for listening, everyone.
I want to give a huge shout out to all the people who did the freshman class tours, Hawk Visual, Boston Beer Girl, EJ, Mass Brew Bros,
Yeah.
and Crafted Company. Everyone did an awesome job with
Killed
that.
it.
Let's face it, they blew us out of the water with their video production, but everyone else had
damn it,
amazing
faces.
content. And it was just honored to be part of some great people and
Yeah.
learn about some great breweries.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was a great time.
And we wanted to highlight those breweries, and that's why we didn't release an episode last week.
Yeah.
And a lot of work went into our production, and a lot of work went into everyone else's production.
Exactly.
But Mass Beer Week came and went, and
We hope you all had a great time and drank some amazing Mass beer. But that's not the only time of the year to drink
Mass
local
beer.
Mass beer. You got to keep doing it year round.
that's right. Ryan, you went to Sylvaticus, I saw.
Yes, I went to Sylvaticus, had a couple boots.
Boots?
I went Das Boot. I went to Widowmaker, and I went to Medusa.
Nice.
Look at you go.
I know. It was my first day off in a while, and I wanted to
You
take
decided to
advantage.
go to every
And you
corner of the
partied.
state.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to go to places that I can't get to on a normal basis.
Yeah.
So I stocked up and I had a good time. Everyone was still doing a phenomenal job. Beer's really fresh and tasty.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Erica,
Yeah.
where'd you make it out to?
Where did I make it out to? I went to
You went to Trillium, I thought.
Trillium. That's right. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have to remember sometimes. I forget.
Erica's just always like she's a woman about the town. She's like I gotta
I'm
go to all
over the
these
place.
places.
Yeah. So
She has so many events.
yeah, right. So many events. I went to Trillium and Harpoon, and I also went to St. Adams because St. Adams' new Pink Boots beer was out. So
Was
I'm
it good?
Super excited about that. I haven't had it yet.
Oh.
Because my beer fridge is overflowing. But,
Yeah, same.
So it's there, and I'm excited to try it sometime soon. But anyway, so that was fun just to kind of, hop, skip, and a jump and stop at a couple breweries and check that out. I actually had my first beer from Vanished Valley.
Cool.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
My friend works at Trader Joe's, and he hooked me up with a 4-pack.
Shout out to your friend at Trader Joe's.
Yeah, they're carrying their stuff down in PPD, so pretty cool.
Did you go to the
Or Danvers. I forget which one.
Yeah, it's same, one of the same. They're
Yeah,
Peabody,
it's
I
the
think.
same
Though.
thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you go to the Harpoon and the Seaport?
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
Seapot.
Yeah,
Seaport.
and Trillium on a Seaport.
Yeah.
Good.
Fun fact, I know this is not beer related, but that's right next to where my family picks up seafood almost
Fun
every day.
fact, David's Fish Co. Let's go
There's
there.
Fish Market, yeah.
Yes, I took a weekend off from drinking. Believe it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I actually had a ton of wine this past week. Which
Yeah, I still
take
drink
a minute
wine.
to think
Yeah.
about what I drank. So I was like, I had wine that night and that night and that night. But yeah, that's cool.
And I took a weekend off from drinking beer. I had a lot during Mass Beer Week to support, and I was back on it. Yeah, I mean, Monday night I had Mass Beer. I had, we talked about it today when we went to Faces. I had my last Faces Commander, which it held up. They were giving me so much shit. They're like, it's in the back of your fridge, and it was like, it's been in the back of my fridge for a month, but it still held up, and it was awesome. So Faces, cool. Jack's Abbey, Notch.
The Huge.
The Huge for me, yeah. The Huge for me.
Cool.
And wine.
Yeah.
Of course. A little bit of vino.
Oh, a little vino.
A little vino.
That's nice.
But other than that, there's
some Pink Boots news.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our next virtual meeting has been set up, has been scheduled, if you will. March 24th at 7 p.m. So if you're in the industry, or even if you're in like, meat or any kind of industry in like the liquor, alcohol making world, you can join and come on down virtually. Information's on their Facebook page. And yeah, it's going to be great. Virtual beer tasting. They'll send you a 4-pack if you sign up.
I was pumped to see that Pink Boots Boston Pink Boots has Instagram now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
long time coming. I was kind of surprised. I was like, we really haven't had one? Jeez.
But the social media presence has been awesome, just seeing some of the posts and learning some of the stuff and highlighting some of the amazing Pink Boots beers that are coming out. I know that I've seen a number of them. I've seen a number of collaborations.
Yeah, Exhibit A and Faces did a Pink Boots collab. Yeah. That's out now, I think. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. Yep. And Wormtown. This past Wednesday, not to change the subject, but we're highlighting a couple of things. Yeah, they just opened their new tap space.
Yeah, pretty exciting. It is beautiful. Just from what I've seen on social. I haven't actually stopped by.
Yeah, our friend Jenna's trying to get us to go there, and like we
will at some point.
Yeah, but it's also Wormtown's 11th birthday. Yeah, so like happy birthday to Wormtown.
Woo woo.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
You guys do some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Really great beer.
So good.
And you employ one of our favorite people.
Yeah, a couple.
A lot of our favorite people, actually. So, yeah. And, that Worcester, that greater Worcester scene is really cool. You know, you got Redemption Rock, you got Wormtown,
Penny Pinchers,
Great Rhythm.
Yep.
Right.
Great Rhythm?
No, Greater Good. Yeah.
If like kombucha, there's Craft Tea. Thank you.
It's a cool area.
It's a cool spot.
Yeah. I loved talking to Penny Pinchers last week. So if you haven't,
solid people.
Yeah.
Stop by. Like they're just awesome people.
Yeah.
Great beer.
Well, Ryan.
What do you think, Ryan?
I think we should get on to this amazing episode with Throwback.
I do too.
Throwback Brewery is so exciting.
Well, whether you're in the car going to work, coming home from work, or doing whatever the hell you're doing, I hope you enjoy.
In your basement at home.
In your basement at home, like Erica says. I hope you guys enjoy it because we had a lot of fun there, and I think you'll be able to tell.
Yeah. Cheers.
Erica and Ryan, this is an anomaly for us recently.
Yeah, we're in person somewhere.
We're in person. We're still socially distanced. We're wearing masks. It's important to continue to do so. If you live in a state that, maybe lifted that mandate or is thinking about that, I'm going to say wear a mask still.
Yeah.
I'm not a scientist, but I'm a realist.
It could be helpful.
I don't know. It's a good idea. But we are here in North Hampton, right? It's North Hampton, New Hampshire. I don't want to call it Hampton. I don't want to get anyone mad.
Let's get specific here.
It is specific here. And we're here at a place where I was telling Nicole off air that I'm kind of mad because ever since this place has been in inception, I've probably gained 20 to 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Eating their food, drinking their beer. And the one year that they get something that I can like exercise and do, I never even got to utilize. So
right.
It's okay. It's okay. Next year in the summer,
we'll do better next year.
And I just have to run.
Yeah.
That's the moral of the story, right?
From your place.
So with all those descriptions, where are we?
We're at Throwback.
That's right. We're at Throwback.
Yeah.
And what's going on?
Hey guys, welcome.
Hi.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome to Throwback.
So we're here with Annette. And we're here with Nicole.
Hi.
Thank you guys for doing this today. We certainly appreciate you, spending your early Wednesday morning doing this with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice to have people in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
This must feel good for you guys
Yeah.
too.
It's
The
nice
dogs are really excited.
I know.
Yeah,
I love that.
In here?
Yeah.
So cool.
It's nice for us to not see like a pixelated person in front of a Zoom screen for
Yes.
once.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we get to watch people drink our beer too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I was telling somebody I'm less awkward like this as opposed to in front of a computer, but it's only slightly so.
So we start every interview asking our guests their role at the brewery and their first memory of beer.
Oh.
You can duke it out who wants to start first, but
Like first drinking memory or first.
You choose.
In my memory, there was always beer, so I don't know. My dad definitely liked his beer. I'm Nicole, and my role, Annette and I are co-founders, and I tend to focus more on the business side, so the marketing. I also am the Queen of Ween here, which is probably not a common title for a brewery owner, but we do have a line of sausage called Lady Sausage. Yeah. So I'm sort of the awesome. The main sausage maker behind Lady Sausage. Memories of beer, I don't know. A lot of them are college related, as most people, but I think for me it has to do more with like coming home and my dad having like gone to California and bringing home like Pete's Wicked or Anchor Steam, so cool. And like us having beers together. And so those are really some of my best memories with beer, or earliest memories.
Spoiled on good beer early on.
Yeah, no kidding. I still drink Anchor. So.
Yeah.
And I'm Annette. My role here, I was head brewer for a lot of years. Since we moved to the farm in 2015, I've taken on more of the operations role, fixing the tent that blew over yesterday, doing some of those things. And with the restaurant, it's certainly given us a lot of different skills to learn and to kind of keep up with. So I still get to play around in the brewery a little bit, hopefully more as we move along this year. But I kind of do everything. When something breaks, I am the one that's called to fix it. So.
And that's our problem fixer,
I love
basically, is her main role here.
Yeah.
No matter what department, it could be the farm, it could be the kitchen, it could be the brewery.
Yep.
She fixes it.
If you need help with math.
Yeah.
Good, we'll come here.
My first memories of beer are my dad certainly loved his Bud Heavy, I guess is what it's called now, but it wasn't then. But my own memories weren't college related really, because I only had like not great beer like available to me in college, so I didn't really like it. But out of college, on my first engineering job, my mentor Bruce, he helped us out a lot of years here, but he's very much into beer and we'd be on site in another state, and he'd be like, well, what do you think about this? And what do you like about this? And so he really is the one that got me thinking about beer. Pete's Wicked was the first one for me, that ESB style I really liked.
Yeah, that's cool.
That ESB style that I wish would make a research on.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's always interesting to hear someone's backstory. You kind of hinted at engineering. I'm also an engineer, so that's really cool. What was the backstory and original plan? I'm sure, having that Anchor Steam with your dad back in the day and being exposed to beer, was that a moment in time that you were like, I want to own a brewery, or was that not even in the vision?
In college, so I went to Dartmouth, and people like to drink beer there for the most part, not to grossly overgeneralize, but and I played rugby, and I always told everyone that I just would love, besides being the first female white rap star, which has already happened, and that was not for me. That just ended. That dream ended a long time ago. Although I'm more than happy to spit very bad rhymes, but I was
you're gonna have to. Yeah.
That'll happen later for sure.
I was give me a lot of beer. I was like, I'd love to be a bartender, right? But that was just sort of a passing fancy, and I never thought that would happen. And I was in computer science and product management for years, and I got my MBA. And when we met playing rugby in Boston, and it wasn't until we started homebrewing that and we blame Annette for this
Everything.
for everything basically.
I blame Bruce. So so I went to MIT and I studied engineering, environmental engineering, and so out of college I worked in southern Massachusetts, and that's where I met Bruce, and eventually we all wound up in New Hampshire, and there were a few of us that, a few of them that were home brewing. Bruce does this thing called Bruce's Beer Fest. He's probably done it for, 20-something years.
At least.
And it was just this really good excuse for he and his friends to sit in his backyard and eat smoked meat and drink beer all day. And they would, rag on each other and kind of like...
So of course we wanted in.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, why not? I want in. Can I get the invite to the next one, please?
Yeah. I convinced Dennis helped us brew our first home brew. And we went to a beer fest, one of Bruce's beer fests, and we were like, yeah, we're going to enter this next year. So then in that next year, we learned to home brew through Dennis. And of course, I read a lot of nonfiction, right? So I was reading everything I could at that time. The internet, that's dating us a bit.
Yeah.
You couldn't look anything up on Google.
Yeah, it wasn't a great resource.
Yeah. So I just collected books and, I was bugging them. I'm like, did you measure this? Did you measure this? And Dennis is like, I just want to drink the beer. I don't care what it started
I don't care
out.
what the pH level is.
Yeah.
So I definitely got into it technically, and that's kind of one of the things I've always loved about brewing was that the science behind it can get really intrinsic and really detailed, or you can kind of brew and make beer without really knowing what's going on. So it was just really exciting for me to do that. And
and for me, I love to eat and I love food and I love thinking about different flavor combinations, and so I would love, a lot of times I'd give ideas. I'm an ideas person. I'd be like, Annette, this is way back when we first started the brewery 10 years ago. I was like, now everyone has peanut butter beers, but I was like, can you please make me a chocolate peanut butter porter, because I love porters.
Yeah.
And she ended up turning it into an imperial stout, which we still do today. It's called Fat Alberta, and it's one of our most popular beers. But
love it.
Yeah,
love it. That's cool.
So you kind of teased your paths crossed rugby.
Yeah, we played rugby in Boston.
Post college.
Yeah.
Post-college,
Do you
yeah.
still play?
No.
My knees won't take that.
No, I mean, frankly, I would love to still play, but
Yeah. You just want to hit someone.
I just want to hit someone.
Yeah. I love it. So certainly, I hate to say homebrewing is a hobby, but for a lot of people, it's a hobby.
Yeah.
When did your quote unquote hobby become an idea to take that plunge that so many people take and leave their job and open a brewery and
Or not leave their job.
and work 60 hours a week?
Right.
Yeah, well, that happens too.
Yeah.
We had been homebrewing, I don't know, 6 or 7 years,
Yeah.
and I had been working in consulting for engineering about 17 years at that point, and I was just kind of ready to do something else, and the hands-on aspect of brewing was really appealing. I mean, so I was just at a point in my career where I needed to do something else, and so I was like, hey, what do you think about this? And maybe I can grow flowers for a living. And she's just like, no.
Yeah, she was running all these ideas by me, and I was like, no.
I mean, meanwhile, I was brewing every week, and we were drinking everything we could find and all this stuff. But I was like, or maybe I'll make curtains for people. And she's just like, what?
Yeah, then she wanted to start a grocery store, and I was
Oh my
like,
God.
oh.
I was thinking about it.
Yeah, and then finally
yeah.
it was a brewery, and I was like, yeah, that sounds like a really good idea. And then you went down to kept cutting hours at work, did the Siebel,
the Institute.
yeah,
Yeah.
did an internship at Smutty Nose, and at that point,
Nice.
Yeah.
and that was still so I was like, okay,
Yeah.
have fun. I'm here if you need any business
Yeah.
advice.
Yeah, so that was 2010.
Wow.
And then
Yeah.
That's before this area even.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
Smutty.
yeah.
It was just
Oh,
Smutty,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
At that point,
Smutty Nose and Red Hook.
Red Hook.
Portsmouth Brewery.
Portsmouth
Oh,
Brewery.
Brewery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so we were definitely newbies here. And then, we started paying rent in November 2010, and then we sold our first beer in July 2011. So
Nice.
for all the licensing and the build out and everything.
And that was not at what we call Hobbs Farm.
Yeah,
That
so
was at-
we're on the farm now. We have a 12-acre farm, but we started across the street
Oh, okay.
in a little warehouse
Right.
park we had a 3-barrel system that Annette basically worked with a welder in Maine, and they welded it all together. And we were the first nano brewery in the state with a tasting room, sort of like
nice.
proving out the concept.
Yeah.
And we thought we'd just make some beer and see what happened. It's funny because I remember going to was it the planning or the zoning board, and they're like, you only have 3 parking spots, but we were it's fine, because this was before, we knew like what nano breweries could do, like, and how many people would go, and like we were so lucky that the warehouse park we were in, where the businesses closed on the weekend,
Of course.
because the whole parking lot would fill up. We'd be like, people would like hanging out. Yeah.
Wow.
And
I remember turning 21 and coming up and being like, I can't park anywhere. We had to park on the street, which I don't think was legal.
Yeah. So I mean, we like rolled out the fake grass carpet. Had like
Some lawn chairs.
And it was definitely a simpler
Similar
time.
times.
Yeah, but there were 13. We were like the 13th brewery in the state, and there are 100 now.
Yeah.
That's
which
cool.
is crazy.
It's cool. It's cool to see the growth of New Hampshire in the 10 years that I've been legal drinking age.
Yeah.
See it go from 13 to 100, and you guys kind of being one of the pioneers of that. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Weird to think.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
We're like, we're not that old, and then everyone, I think a lot of people think of us as like one of the elder statesmen, but we're not really. When you look at like, Peter Eggleston with his like Portsmouth Brewery has been 30?
It must be close to 30.
Yeah. They've been on for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we get into your migration over from the warehouse to this beautiful farm, we just have a word from our amazing sponsors. So take it away, Ryan.
Take it away. Did you know that your favorite Massachusetts breweries use hops from a local family-owned hop farm right here in Massachusetts?
Our friends over at 4 Star Farms are there for you whether you're a commercial brewery or a small batch home brewer.
Make sure to head over to their website today and get your hands on some of the best and freshest hops available locally. Cheers.
At our local homebrew shop, Beer and Wine Hobby, you can get everything you need to make beer, wine, cider, cheese, and more. Not sure where to start? They have knowledgeable staff there to help. Beer and Wine Hobby is family-owned and located in Danvers, Massachusetts. Visit their website, beer-wine.com, and use our promo code BREWROOTS for 10% off your online order today.
Shirts on Tap is the box subscription service where you can get some of the dopest brewery t-shirts out there. I'm talking breweries from Dallas, San Diego, and even our home area of New England. And you might ask, how do I get my hands on some? To get your first box for $5, click the link below in our description, or head on over to our website, brewroots.com. Remember, drink better beer, wear better shirts. And we're back. We're lucky enough right now, we're drinking a jalapeno Pilsner.
Yep.
And a coconut
guava sour.
So good.
You weren't kidding that you were a foodie and an idea person.
Yeah, clearly. These two beers.
Were these your ideas?
Yeah.
I don't know where.
The jalapeno one was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love spicy.
Yeah.
In fact, it's funny. Like I alluded to the fact that I love porter, and when we first started drinking beer, I just was like all about Catamount Porter and dark beers, and it wasn't until we started the brewery that I said to Annette, like, I think we'll be really successful if you make a Pilsner that I like, and she came up with the base recipe that we still brew to this day for our Love Before a Long Time Bohemian Pilsner.
Nice.
And then thought let's make it
Put some peppers
a little
in it.
zestier.
Yeah.
A little zestier.
It's really nice. It definitely has that good spice to it, but it's not overwhelming.
Absolutely.
Like someone who doesn't necessarily love spicy would still enjoy that.
Yeah.
I think.
It's definitely a food beer.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I can see that with some Mexican or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Pizza, sushi.
Yum.
List goes on.
Yeah.
We tried it all.
It's only 10:30. I'm hungry now.
Yeah, right. Cool. So we're obviously sitting in this beautiful tap room, like this old farmhouse, right? At what point did you move over here?
Well, we were in the warehouse for about a year, and I guess sort of as a background, when we opened the brewery, prior to the brewery, I was very much an avid gardener. I grew a lot of our own food and things. So opening the brewery, I really wanted to have that connection with our local community and farmers. So we had made it our goal to source as much as we could within 200 miles of the brewery to make the beer, which was, not, it still is pretty unusual. And we were lucky at that point where Valley Malt out of Hadley, Mass had opened up about 8 or 10 months before us, and they were actually malting barley, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to get local barley in our area. So so very much wanted to be part of the farming industry, farming community. And but starting off, we were like, I don't even know if anybody's going to come and drink beer with me. So warehouse space seemed good, but we outgrew that space pretty quickly. It was a 3-barrel system that we started on, and I was at a point in my career where I was just going to make beer. Maybe people would stop by and hang out, But we were really lucky with the support from the community, and we needed bigger space. I was looking to expand into the next bay at the warehouse, and probably go into Home Depot or something.
Right.
I saw the farm was up for auction. So we're at Hobbs Farm. It's been in the Hobbs family since its inception in the 1700s.
Oh, wow.
This was the first time it was available for purchase, and I was just obsessed with it from the start. I think, we're in year 1, right? And I'm like, let's buy a farm. And a really expensive farm. So I was like, well, what do we need? What can we do here? And I was bouncing it off of different people that, resources we have in our community, like a realtor friend, a carpenter friend. And I was like, somebody needs to tell me I'm crazy, because otherwise I'm going to just obsess over it and stuff. So we were, and they were like, no, I think you have a good idea here. And we're like, shit.
Like, anyone want to tell us?
I mean, maybe your dad was the one.
My dad was like,
you are
ha 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 ha, and he just changed the subject. And like, oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
So we went to the auction, and
Annette did.
I did. Oh yeah.
I worked for IBM, so the first 4 years I was an executive at IBM, and it was like I didn't really want to leave my job. So I did the night and weekend thing, but I had a big conference that I was speaking at in Germany. So the auction was, of course, when I was on the plane on the way home. And I sent my friend Catherine as a proxy. And I was like, Catherine, do not let Annette spend more than
X amount.
this amount of money. Anyways, as soon as it landed, we could turn the phone. I turned my phone on, and it was like bing, ding, 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 and like all this stuff. And we had quote won the auction.
Yay!
So
so that was in 2012. And I'm the ever optimist here, so I was like, well, sweep it out and move in. Meanwhile, sheep had been living in here for 100 years.
Right.
So it took 3 years between design work and permitting and money, and then actually doing the work. We chose to do all the reconstruction in the winter, where we received 7 feet of snow in 2 weeks. There.
I remember that.
Yeah. So we have pictures of the open roofing with just like feet of snow in the brewery, So, but we were able to move in for July 1st, 2015. I would say we weren't quite ready.
Not ready.
Mentally or physically or any of that, probably. The building was ready, but we weren't. But the way the licensing works in New Hampshire, our nano license was expiring on June 30th at the warehouse. So if we didn't go into this on July 1st, we would have to renew a whole another year or whatever. So we were like, well, we're going.
And just to set context, like, we knew how to brew beer and make beer, but we had no idea about running a restaurant. Luckily, we made a really great hire there with Carrie, our chef, who's still with us. But like, I went over, I made a sign, said, shh, don't tell anyone, but we're across the street. And with an address, because we knew that like our core customers would show up, but we weren't ready to post it on social media. So we still had hundreds of people showing up, and we're trying to
we were so
figure it out.
It was just laughing, thinking about like, that's like nothing now, like hundreds of people, right? And you're like, but when you've never run a restaurant before and you're learning new processes and establishing like standard operating procedures,
and we went from like being open 4 to 7 for a little taste to, know, food and pints and
completely different.
Oh, so different.
So what made you think of doing food? Again, like I know you're a foodie, so.
Yeah, well, actually, now it's a little bit different, but you could not serve a full pint of beer unless you offered food.
Oh,
so were you considered a brew pub at that time, or no?
What's that?
Was it considered like a brew pub at that
you
point?
had to have a restaurant license or a brew pub license.
Yeah, the Nano Plus license wasn't available at that point.
Yeah. And so, in addition, the state was like, you can't have a menu with just food that you can walk around with.
Oh yeah, they were really sticklers. They like, I had to go to the state office. They like looking at the paper menu. They're like, well, you could walk around with this. We need food that requires you to sit and eat. And I was like, but
like, who would want to walk around with like a medium rare hamburger and like ripping down your arm, right? Like,
yeah, maybe it's like a McDonald's one, but
I was like trying to convince them. I'm like, I don't know what you eat, but
no.
So
oh, goodness.
I mean, it worked out. But
it worked out, yeah.
I think we were like, it was new to them. Now it's a little more relaxed, and they're doing stuff with the licensing that make it a little bit better.
You're kind of breaking through. You're like the first one.
Yeah. But we never thought we would. We sell more food than beer.
Yeah, we never thought of that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the food. Your chef you mentioned.
Carrie.
Yeah. What made you choose Carrie?
Oh, her hot dogs.
Oh yeah.
So there's an event at Strawberry Bank in downtown Portsmouth. Well, in previous years, and she
called Passport.
Called Passport. Yeah, Carrie was the chef. She ended up being the chef de cuisine and longtime sous chef at the Black Trumpet, which is one of the best restaurants in downtown Portsmouth. And one day she made at that event these like house-made hot dogs with house-made bread with like beer mustard. Mm-hmm. And Annette and I kept going back because we were pouring beer at that event.
We're like, you go now, you go.
Yeah,
I already went.
But also, it was her food was like in line with what we liked, and she obviously liked to use local ingredients, like super talented. But I think a lot of it also was from a culture perspective. We knew what we wanted in a chef, and we knew what we didn't want, and we didn't want the traditional sort of old school like berating people and being a dick, in the kitchen. You can have a successful kitchen and have someone leading that has a lot of empathy and like compassion and wants to like grow and mentor people, which is what we ultimately
You should repeat
really
that
wanted.
Statement like 20 more times.
Yeah.
So, culturally and values-wise, it was a good fit.
Yeah.
Well, we also said, you could just make snacks for people.
Yeah, we totally like.
we had no idea.
Snacks turned into
Snacks.
something else.
Right.
No, that was the pitch. Is like, you're gonna work 40 hours.
40 hours a week.
We don't know if anyone's gonna buy food.
Yeah, you could be bored in there. I don't know.
Oh my god.
Meanwhile, we've had to expand the kitchen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We did. We had to double the size of the kitchen.
Oh, jeez, wow.
Already.
We had no idea.
That's exciting.
So, day one beers, what were the day one beers over the warehouse? And have any of those recipes carried over? Were those homebrew recipes?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yes. So, one of my favorite styles is an American brown ale, which is
nice.
tough to find.
It's another one that should make a research.
Well, I finally we're brewing it. Because there's not a lot of people that like it, but I'm gonna make them like it,
and I'll drink it.
And I'll drink it.
Such a good beer. It's called Dippity Doo.
Yeah, so it's called Dippity Doo. It actually started off as a home brew. When Nicole's dad retired, he got like this brew kit, which he never used, and we had been home brewing, and we were like, let's brew together. And of course, he's like sitting in the chair, like reading a catalog or something, and she and I are like home brewing. And we're like, how's it going, Lee?
But he actually had people gave him a couple of kits, so he came to the realization he's never going to use it. So he ended up giving them to us, and then Annette just sat down one day, and she's like, has all this math on a piece of paper. I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm creating a brown ale based upon all the grains in these homebrew kits.
Yeah.
And that was the very first beer Annette brewed in the warehouse, and the very first beer that we brewed when we moved here.
Actually, when I was filing stuff the other day, I realized we brewed Hopstruck here.
First?
First.
Oh.
Yeah, when we moved to the farm. But anyway, so so Dippity Doo is our brown ale.
Yep.
Hopstruck, red IPA.
Yep.
So I'm
nice.
not a self-professed hop head by any means. I like the way the caramel malts balance hops. So
For sure.
when I started brewing IPAs, that was like kind of the first one I did, and it has a healthy amount of caramel hops in it to make the color and balance those hops. And we still brew that one now.
Maple Kiss.
Porter.
That was the very, very last brew that the two of us homebrewed together before opening the brewery.
Yeah.
And we thought we sort of had our lineup set, and then my Uncle Dave came over. So my Uncle Dave and my Auntie Darce, their daughter Andrea is the founder of Valley Malt. So it's sort of
Jesus,
yeah.
wow.
So my cousin
nice.
Andrea, I have to put a plug. I'm very proud.
Yeah,
Proud of my cousin. Yeah, she's done a great job. So anyways, Uncle Dave was like, hey, I was like, you want a beer? And he's like, sure. And then he just kept pounding. I'm like, pounding the Maple Kiss.
Yeah.
Like, I think we have a winner here.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that one will be canning next week, I think.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
Today. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it got pushed off.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then we used to make a smoked porter. So all these were home brews.
Yeah,
And
campfire.
Yeah.
we still make that one today. We smoke our own malt on applewood.
Oh, that's so
Wow.
cool.
So it's not a Rauch beer in terms of like that peatiness or the
Yeah.
level of intensity of the smoke. It's just kind of there.
It's appley, roasty,
Great,
smoky.
you,
Yeah.
you drink it with
amazing.
brisket or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hog Happy
Happy.
Hefeweizen was another one where we were looking at, like, at that point you go to this beer store or a store for beer, and it wasn't like now where you can find anything on the shelf, right? So we were looking at what do we like to drink and what can we not find out there. So it's a traditional German style Hefeweizen, which we still make today.
And a lot of breweries don't make that still.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You were on the hazy train before everyone else.
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty fun. It's funny
Yeah.
to see because we'll be like, we'll have delivering beer out to a table and they're like, I want that beer. And I'm like, but you said you wanted an IPA. Yeah, that beer.
Right,
I'm
right.
like,
That's a
I was like,
Hefeweizen.
that's a half.
It's like
I
one of
don't
the
really-
lowest top beers that we make.
I was like, you're going to be so surprised. And then the other one was our Pilsner. So those,
Yeah.
and I remember Levy was like, he's like, you're
dad.
rolling out with 6 beers as your, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to limit it to, I'm like, I can't make one beer. Like, I want 6 beers or 7 beers or whatever,
Yeah.
or 8. I don't know how many we had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so all of those were the beginning, and
We still make them.
all
That's
of them.
awesome,
Yeah.
actually. They
Awesome.
still make them. That's really cool.
But yeah, now our bestseller is Hank's
Pale ale.
Pale Ale. I had a dog, a collie mix, Hank, and when
Aw.
he passed away, we're like, let's make a beer for Hank that's
Aw.
just like, he was loved to sit in the lake and fish, right? Never caught
Yeah,
anything,
yeah.
but and it was such a mellow dog, so we're like, let's create a fishing beer, and so that's like our 4.8% pale ale that is by far our bestseller here.
Nice.
And then when sours first started becoming popular, Annette loves sours. We made Cheek Squeezer, which is our kettle soured blonde with tart and sweet cherries, and that for wholesale is by far our best-selling beer.
Very cool.
See, breweries, a pale ale can be your flagship.
Yeah,
See? That's cool. What are you brewing on? What size now?
It's a 15 barrel.
Okay.
Cool.
So you've
Yeah, you guys are
upgraded.
producing a lot.
Yeah,
with that.
yeah.
Busy
we went-
days. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we don't brew every day. Right now especially too, we're not brewing every week. But
Yeah.
I think in our normal world, we were probably brewing twice a week or maybe 3 times a
Yeah.
week. We
there's
install-
only so many tanks you could fit in the
Or, yeah.
back.
Right.
Yeah, we did put in a 30 barrel bright and a fermenter
Ooh.
for when we make our Pilsner, because we usually split the batch and pepper half of it for the spicy, and then we'll use that for like Hank's when we need a little extra in the summer.
Yeah.
Nice.
Obviously, COVID has happened over the last year. I can't believe we're coming up on a year.
know.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah.
You guys have continued to serve food to the community and produce beer. Obviously, it's impacted the business in some way that you guys probably didn't even expect. But what have you guys been doing to make COVID kind of a positive for you, if you can,
Yeah, well, I mean, if you had told me that we would still be in business a year after not serving a single person inside, I would have told you were.
Oh, you were
absolutely crazy.
You were out of your skin.
Yeah, I was.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
3 weeks to flatten the curve. We'll be fine. We're great.
But we're lucky with the space that we've had, and like most restaurants, we turn to takeout quickly, and we've done a lot of things that I feel like we will continue to do. So for me, it's been very exciting to see our team be so creative. And one of the things we've done this winter is install fire pits outside in the beer garden. That's basically an experience. Like, people can come out, they rent them for 2 hours. Our team makes marshmallows, so house-made marshmallows,
yes.
and house-made graham cracker cookies. We make a lot of sausage here, so people on the fire can make their own s'mores.
Like a whole night.
We have a campfire brat, so my bratwurst recipe, we make a whole bunch of those, and we bring it out with sticks, with our house-made sourdough buns and sauerkraut and our beer mustard, and so basically creating experiences for customers. And we've also done a lot of take-home meals, which customers seem to like as well, because it's why do you have to do cooking and cleaning? And we have take-home meals for 4. For example, Carrie makes these amazing chicken enchiladas, and she just makes them all up from fresh, everything. And then
Salsa verde,
the red sauce, whatever that's called, it's delicious. And people come in.
You can pre-order it.
Eat them up.
Yeah, and we've also had some fun with our lady sausage, our sausage.
That's awesome.
Well, I mean, a lot of stuff has changed. We're canning almost everything, so that was difficult to roll and do. We were gearing up last March for our busy season, and we had so much in draft form.
Of course.
Like a lot of breweries did. And then all of a sudden we have to turn 180 and sort of what else can we can? So we've added, I don't know, almost every beer in labels in cans this past year. And that's been a good pivot point, and tough to do for the brewery, but they've done a great job at doing that. And then I think
our farm stand was new too.
Yeah, we had a physical farm stand out in the parking lot. So we do farm on our property, about 3 acres, and produce over half of our own produce for the kitchen in normal years. We have a CSA, and then we have any excess produce we can put on the farm stand. So that was a new thing, and I think a lot of farms saw, with food insecurity, there was a lot of people looking local for what they could get, and so we saw that as well. We were lucky for that. But also we've had to transition, we went from a counter service model here to, basically Nicole having to figure out all these online platforms to order, to do takeout, to do the pre-orders. We're on a couple different platforms now, so you can order when we're not open, you can order when we're open.
Yeah.
We have different menus, and just kind of organizing all that so that we can be as contactless as we can with our people that are eating here. I don't know. And then we're in disposable land, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
The innovation just of all the breweries that we've seen is it's amazing. I mean, you've taken such a hard situation and forced the hand of local governments to kind of maybe alter rules temporarily, or you're doing your own thing, leading the way. It's awesome.
Yeah, and we were definitely really lucky with our space here. I mean, we're not in downtown Portsmouth where you're sitting on the street. That has to be so hard for those restaurants to do that. We were like, well, let's go into the field more, and I mean, our biggest battle here is the wind and the sun.
Yeah.
So, figuring that out, but we do have the space at least.
Good. So do you want to maybe break for? Yeah.
So,
Ryan, what does that mean? It means it's time.
Sponsor time.
yeah.
All right.
Cool.
We'll be back.
Are you a solo artist, band, podcaster, or anyone else who needs recording services?
Well, we got a place for you where your vision can become a reality.
Welcome to Small Pond Studios, built by hand with heart and sweat equity by musicians for musicians.
Go to smallpondstudios.io to reach out to get more information. And make sure you let them know that Brute sent you. Hey, Sound Guy Ryan here. Didn't know if you heard, but we're a part of the Hopped Up Network. There you'll find other informative podcasts about beer. So go ahead, follow them on social media, and visit them on their website, hoppedupnetwork.com, to learn more about the people, beer, and breweries from around the country. And until next time, thanks for listening. Cheers.
And we're back. So I am curious about Lady Sausage. How do you have time
Most people are.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you guys are doing so much. How do you have time to like launch a new brand with everything here? And why sausage?
Oh boy, why sausage?
Sausage camp.
Yeah, about 5-6 years ago. I don't remember. It must be 6 years ago. I was at my job at IBM, and this opportunity came up to go to like a charcuterie school up in Vermont for several weeks.
Sterling College, right?
Sterling College, yeah. Which I, of course, went to. It was like my first 2-week vacation, and I called it Sausage Camp. Every adult should go to Sausage Camp.
Yes.
I highly recommend it. And we learned all kinds of things about making different kinds of charcuterie, but I just fell in love with making sausage. And we always talked about when we opened up a restaurant, there'd be some sort of sausage on the menu. And so when we opened up here and working with Carrie, we started with our Mexican style chorizo, which was one of my first recipes. We made kielbasa. And then we very early on came up with a concept for a brand, Carrie and I, called Lady Sausage. And I got a logo, and I did all this stuff in my spare time, kept moving it along a little bit. And then when COVID hit, and we used to do so many events here, and I would just spend a lot of time thinking of different ideas and managing all of that, all the end-to-end details. And I found myself with actually a little bit more time, and also it felt like the right impetus to finally do something with the brand, because what better time than to try something new to see if we could bring in another revenue stream. So anyways, fast forward, finally just launched it, created the website, and in my spare time I make a bunch of sausage, and have my sausage sire, Ben, in the kitchen helps me out. And working with New England Charcuterie on the salamis.
That's awesome.
That is really awesome.
So are you making the salamis, or are those?
No, that's a USDA. So basically, I don't want to have a huge facility here, so I've partnered with those guys.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So I want to know what's next for you guys. What's going on next? We have the summer months coming up.
In April, our tent, we bought this big circusy, beautiful wedding kind of tent. That'll be back in April.
Great.
And we'll be expanding the seating in the beer garden.
Yep. Even, was it 2 or 3 years ago, we had this thought of putting a beer shed out in the beer garden for people to just grab a quick pint. We have a lot of people that stop by. They just want to get a beer. They're not really looking to sit or whatever. So we started looking at that. I got the town approval a couple years ago, and then obviously last year we didn't do anything with it. So we resurrected that to kind of create a outdoor bar area.
Cool.
This year.
And I bought a slushy machine.
So yeah, look for beer slushies.
Yeah.
Nice.
How do you feel about beer? I mean, obviously you're doing them. Is that something?
Well, so part of me is I just love slushies in general.
Okay.
And then it's a 2-container system. So we get so many kids here that I know a lot of people that don't drink. So for me, more of it is about the non-alcoholic side of it than it is the beer slushy side. I don't actually care what we do on the other side. I'll leave my team up to that. But if I'm if I want to have a drink, like an adulty feeling drink without alcohol, I'm pretty excited that we'll have another option. Too.
I'm excited for that too.
Yeah, that's actually really cool.
And then community, obviously trying to be. You have the CSA.
Yes.
Right? I mean, last year you didn't, but community. You guys have a huge community. There are throwback loyalists. I mean, people that love
very
your brand.
Yeah, very.
Why? I'm just curious.
Why?
What are you guys doing right? I mean,
I think, I don't know. I mean, there's a couple of aspects to it, but I think for me is we've been pretty vocal like early on about our values and what we stand for, and really like being authentic about using local and like caring about our community and caring about like where our food comes from. And there's people out there that have shared values with us in terms of like really being concerned about our footprint on the earth. And so, and also like honestly, we try and hire people that are nice, you know. And it's just really like I feel like I could teach people how to pour beer. You know, we can grow farm, you know, like teach farmers like new skills and brew house, but like you can't teach people to be like fundamentally kind, right? And so we really try and find those kind of people so that, you know, when someone comes in, they feel like, no matter who they are, right? They feel like respected and they're in a warm, like welcoming place. And that's really what we've tried to do is like be pretty clear about us, you know, being a relaxed sort of accepting environment for people.
And I feel like people, at least in our local community, feel like they've grown up with us, right?
Yeah.
'Cause we're gonna be celebrating our 10th birthday in July. And, you know, there's a lot of folks that come by. I was at the warehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
That's cool.
So they feel like a part of it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and continuing on with the community aspect, you're still sourcing a lot of your ingredients locally within the 200 miles, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, as much as we can. Andrea Valley Malt, like the vast majority of our malt comes from the Northeast grain shed through Valley Malt. And our food, like what we don't grow, we do try and supplement from local farms as well.
We're fortunate with the local food available to us in this area.
It's a good agricultural scene.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Really,
There's a good network hub that a lot of farmers belong to that makes it easier, like a one-stop place for our chef to order from.
Everything. Yeah. Nice.
I'm curious about you were talking about pink boots.
Yeah. What do you
Pink
do,
Boots
or
is
how active is
new
your...
in New Hampshire, right?
Yeah, we, I mean, in terms of activity, like we honestly, like we don't, Annette and I personally don't spend a lot of time doing pink boots, but we are very supportive of the organization and of women in the industry, obviously. And there is a bunch of breweries getting together in the next month or so to work on each brewery making a pink boots beer. So we've ordered the hops. We'll be doing one of our playlist beers, which is our experimental IPA series, with those hops. And then you should see something coming out about a little trail, maybe. I don't want to tease too much, but
something fun to look forward to, though.
Yeah,
that's cool.
A bunch of pink boots supporting breweries. So
love it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for doing this today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
We appreciate it, and I've been such a big fan of your brewery for a long time. So
yeah, it's great to
coming here and finally getting a chance to talk. It's been awesome. I can't stress enough to our listeners, if you're looking for that like a brewery experience that's not like, you know, the typical brewery, come here.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I can't.
You have amazing food, you have amazing beer, you have a beautiful location.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And not only is this a great brewery here, there are great surrounding breweries, so you can make a day out of coming.
Yeah, for sure.
To the area.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, just on that, like right down the street, we have Tilton
and Wim
Brothers and Wim. Yeah, so that's like 5 miles. Yeah,
within 2 miles maybe.
Yeah. And then you can go the other way and head into Portsmouth, and there's all kinds of breweries in Portsmouth.
Go a little bit further, go to Kittery. There's a bunch of stuff. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, so thank you for doing this today, and I am so excited to get food here at some point soon.
Yes.
It's one of my girlfriend's favorite places to come and get food. So
awesome.
Cool.
We'll end with our usual questions.
Erica's favorite.
Ryan, do you want to go?
What do you guys want to learn more about?
Stumped him.
Always the best question, right?
I always want to learn more about brewing and different brewing techniques that come up, just from that perspective. More about shade shelters. No, I'm just finding shade in this field.
Yes.
I don't know. What do you?
I don't know. Like I'm kind of a businessy marketing nerd, so like they're on my list. There's a whole bunch of e-commerce related things that I'm looking into, especially as COVID continues. And it's amazing how much money we've made online this year, thank God. So
Yeah.
for me, it's definitely in that realm.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, what are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of, I guess, the team that we've assembled, but also the longevity of the number of people that we have that have been with us for more than 3 years and more than 5 years is incredible. Like Chris, who's our head brewer now, it's been 9?
8+. Yeah.
Wow.
8+
It's like
years.
unheard of in a restaurant.
Yeah, our
Yeah.
chef is coming 6 years in May. I'm proud of that.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I think like to be home brewing in your garage and like kind of like I don't know what I'm doing kind of thing, and then but to have sort of those fundamental desires to be part of the community and do that, and then to be able to like kind of go about it organically growing. You know, when it's hard sometimes to look around like the day-to-day bullshit that we deal with sometimes, and then you look back and you're like, you know, we have a farm here, we have a brewery, we have a restaurant, we have pulled this dream together, you know, and it works. Like it's a really cool thing that, you know,
For sure.
you don't really see anywhere. So that
Definitely.
part, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing what we've been able to do. It's really cool.
Thank you for doing this again.
Thank you.
I can't stress, come out here, enjoy their beer, enjoy the view, and when the weather's really nice, this is like the perfect summer destination in my
Definitely.
opinion. Spring and summer. Yeah.
Yeah. And until next time.
Until next time.
Cheers.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.
All right, we have an awesome episode lined up for you next week. I am so excited to hype this one up for you. Erica, who do we have lined up?
We have Czar Brewing.
That's right, Czar Brewing out of Exeter, New Hampshire. Ryan, but before we go and say our adieus, what else do we have to cover?
Follow us on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, etc., etc. And also subscribe to our Patreon, which is www.patreon.com/Brew Roots Podcast.
That's right. And also add us on AIM at
Brewroots.
I guess.
Send us a message. And until next week.
Cheers.
Cheers.